Welcome back to the Football Terrace. Liverpool versus Manchester United. The build-up starts here. Right here on the Football Terrace. We are going to give you so much build-up, so much content, all the little nuances, stories, sidewinders that are going on in the world right now surrounding this game are massive. We know we're all on lockdown. We know that the world's in a tough place right now. So sit back and indulge in the build-up to the biggest derby in world football, period. The biggest game in world football, period. The biggest, maybe even the biggest Premier League game ever. I don't know, maybe I'm getting a bit over the top, but smash the like and share button. We're here to talk Jurgen Klopp this afternoon. I want to speak Jurgen Klopp here, and I want to do this with respect. Tonight, 5 p.m. though. 5 p.m. tonight. The Cop issue here. Drifty, Callum, James Redmond. Plus with a smattering. Smattering, is that a word? I don't know what the word is. But we've got United fans as well. The big preview is tonight. Looking at the game, combined 11. Make sure you're tuning in. 5 p.m. Do not be anywhere else around the world. But today I want to talk Jurgen Klopp. Mark Clattenburg has called him out, saying that he is a hypocrite, slamming him for his comments about Man United players, essentially going down easy for penalties. Rare, tear. We've seen a lot of this talk. This sort of stuff is trending. Paul Tierney, of course, has been awarded the game this weekend, or awarded or appointed would probably be the better word than awarded. He's officiated 11 Liverpool games, 10 Man United games, has awarded 5 penalties to Manchester United and none to Liverpool. This has many Scousers around the world absolutely triggered. They're absolutely triggered by this piece of news. As I've already mentioned, Mark Clattenburg came out and has essentially called out Jurgen Klopp for his hypocrisy. We'll show you the headline on that as well. That should be somewhere around here. There's loads of it today. I've lost it now. What we're saying. This was one here. No, that's in Pigeon. You understand that? I won't understand it here. I can't read the words. Where's it gone? Here we go. From the Manchester Evening News. We'll put this up on the screen as well. It says he sounds like a hypocrite if he suggests United players are looking to win penalties. The likes of Mo Salah and Mane are just as capable of employing similar tactics. But the question I'm asking you is this. Is Jurgen Klopp being clever, or is he rattled? What is your view? What is your opinion? Get your super chat comments in. Please do us a favor as well and sign up to being a member of the Football Terrace. The link's in the description below. But also use the Discord server. It's an amazing community. It's consistently active 24 hours a day, just like the chat room is here on YouTube. You also get notified every single time we upload you a brand new piece of content. Harold here with a super chat says all the links for that are in the description below. Harold says, now the argument from pundits is that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is bad due to City and Liverpool will be better later. Klopp rattled or being clever equals compliment to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Stay safe. I kind of hear what you're saying there. I'd like a bit more clarity on what you mean by pundits say that Ole is bad due to Liverpool and City being better later. I don't understand what you mean by that, my bro. Maybe I've missed something and misinterpreted. Thank you very much, Kevin, for becoming an official member of the Football Terrace. It means a great deal to us. Josh says, I'm wetting myself with excitement. Listen, I'm so up for Sunday. And it isn't, you'll see what I say about the game later on tonight. I'm going to keep my powder dry on that. Liverpool are still the best team in the world to me. Got the best manager in the world. They've been amazing. But I'm excited about the football match and everything else that's surrounding it. There's no doubt whatsoever. Monsieur with a super chat says, Terry, this game is going to be hard to be neutral. I'm afraid it's going to be pure biasness come Sunday. I reckon clever because it plays on the referee's mind. And listen, I absolutely agree with you. Completely and utterly agree with you wholeheartedly. I don't think this is... Listen, there might be hypocrisy in terms of the statements, but we have a habit of doing this as football fans. We look, all managers at some point are going to be hypocritical in what they say, and it's sometimes don't take what they're saying literally, but take it seriously. I'm taking Jurgen Klopp seriously here. He is trying to get into the mind of Paul Tierney. Do you know the interesting thing is, if you lined up 20 referees that operate within the Premier League parameters and asked me to name them, I recognize Paul Tierney's face to name. I would recognize Sean Massey. It's quite obvious why. That's almost it. Maybe if you put more of them up, I might guess who they are. I don't even know who refs are. I don't know their records. I pay no attention to referees because they may make bad decisions in games, but referees do not cost you a game. Your team does. Referees may make mistakes in games. They never make as many as you and your team does. You know, the biggest mistake Liverpool need to focus on this season is not buying a backup or a replacement for Lovren. That's bigger than any referee mistake they've had all year. But people like to deflect. Jurgen Klopp is being exceedingly clever, in my opinion. He wants to get in Paul Tierney's mind. He wants to make Paul Tierney second guess himself. He wants to make it so that if Rashford's fouled in the box, Pogba's fouled in the box, there's that little seed of doubt that's been planted in his mind. Did they just dive? Are they looking for the penalty because it's the only way they can win? The no penalty, no party logic. That is what you are seeing here at play in full force. Let's do some more of these comments here. Thank you to Harold for becoming an official member of the Football Terrace. It means a great deal to us. Kevin here, brand new member, says, hopefully we get the win on Sunday. 21 incoming. Glory, glory, Man United. Let me tell you this now. Sunday, I'm not throwing the baby out with the bathwater if indeed we cannot beat them. The reason being, the 2 games after Liverpool, we play Fulham and Sheffield United. 2 of the easiest games of the season, period. 2 of the easiest games of the season. Losing to them, I believe we're going to go on to win 6 points after that game. So I'm not throwing baby out, as I say. However, beating Liverpool, and then having them 2 games back to back, you have the opportunity to cement. I'm talking Han Solo, cement yourselves into a title race after these 2 games. So it would be massive to get a win. It'd be brilliant to get a positive result. It'd be upsetting, but not the end of the world with a defeat. That's my view and opinion. In terms of the grand scheme of the season, the devil's advocate says, Monso hit the nail on the head. Since Klopp's tantrums, the amount of decisions against us have been ridiculous. Exactly. Man United have been punished. Man United have had awful decisions go against us in recent weeks because Klopp's got into their mind. You know, and Clattenburg speaks about how there may have been some bias towards Man United in the Fergie era, and that's because of the aura people give off. Jurgen Klopp is a powerful, powerful man in football. When he says things, people listen. When Pep says things, people listen. Ollie doesn't have that pull, that draw at this moment in time. And Jurgen Klopp is using every single element of power that he has got to try and gain a psychological advantage over Man United, to try and influence officials, timekeepers, the Premier League, whoever it may be. Liverpool fans have been doing it all week. It's natural and normal. I do think there's an element of them feeling rattled within it, but it's a clever tactic to adopt, no doubt about it whatsoever, in my humble opinion. We have another super chat here that says, Klopp is trying to be clever because he is rattled. Nobody cared when Man United wasn't top of the league last season about penalties. They are discrediting Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's work. That element there I do agree with. A lot of people are out there. Remember the nonsense the other day? You're only at the top because other people have declined. That's only half true. It's a half truth. And if it's a half truth, it doesn't mean it's the truth. Man United have improved by 44% this season. And remember, man like Lee Gunner said, winning is the only thing that matters. So if you improve your win ratio and your points total by 44%, nothing but congratulations can be applied with that logic. And Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's work and improvements are being discredited. They are being looked at as, oh, that's negative, that's poor. And that's because people are rattled. That is because people are rattled, there's no doubt. Sharim Iqbal here says, Clattenburg is an ex-United player trying to influence officials on United's behalf. Howard Webb and Graham Poll will be talking next. But Sharim, let me just address this with you, bro. Thank you for the super chat. The only reason this subject matter is being discussed is because Jurgen Klopp and the Liverpool fan base has made it a contentious talking point. You have made this happen. You have made this possible. Man United fans don't want to talk about this. We want you congratulating Ollie for his success, how he's grown the team, for being top of the league. Not awarding a trophy for it, because that would be absolutely ridiculous, but saying, well done, you. That hasn't happened. So as far as I'm concerned, I don't really want to hear that. But thank you for the super chat. It's as simple as that for me. We're going to open up the line soon for you guys to come on and have your say. Josh here with a comment says, Jose has been all over our pens since starting at Spurs. Look, penalties have been a focus at Man United for a while now. It was first used, so it's not just because we're top of the league. It was first used as a way to try and discredit Bruno Fernandes. He's a penalty merchant. That kind of went away as soon as it was revealed to the mob that he's still the top goal-scoring midfielder from open play in Europe, in Europeans' top leagues. Even if you remove the penalties, that just shut everybody down. The penalties, of course, inflate your goal tally when you're putting them away, but that's because he's good at scoring them. Look how many penalties City have missed in the last couple of years, and we banter him for it. Yet we have a penalty taken that barely misses, and we suddenly say it's a negative. Think about it. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy. LA here says, Terry, do you think this is one of United's biggest games in the last 5 years? Honestly, it's one of our biggest games in the last decade, in my opinion, because there's a lot riding on it. However, football doesn't end at 6:30 on Sunday. This isn't the be-all and end-all. This isn't a game that is going to cement legacy, or it shouldn't be. Some people will try and use it as that. So Ollie's detractors are trying to set this game up as do or die. Win it, you're the man. Lose it, I never want to speak to you again. They're almost using this game as an ultimatum. I tend not to try and work with people or associate too much with people that do ultimatums, because at the end of the day, you're unyielding in your approach, and it's kind of boring. We almost know what Ollie's detractors are going to say if we don't win. In fact, though, we also know if he wins, they're still going to be negative in some way, shape, or form, or pay no harm. If Bruno, Pogba, Rashford are amazing on Sunday and United win, Ollie still won't get praise from these people. So if you're not prepared to praise the manager when you go top, praise him when you win games, and you're going to say it's all down to the players, I don't want to hear you criticize. I've got no time to listen to you criticize the manager when it goes wrong. Someone said to me the other day in a DM on Insta that, in their opinion, when we play well, it's all because the players take charge of the game. That means when we play badly, it's also the players' fault. If the players disregard the manager's tactics when we play well, why are they regarding them to play badly? Why would they not just do their own thing the whole time anyway? Especially if the manager isn't dropping them for it. The logic falls down. People are just trying to discredit Ollie's work. There's no doubt about it whatsoever. But do me a favor and keep smashing that like button, please, ladies and gentlemen. Really important that you get that done. Sign up to the Discord server as well. Let's do some more of these comments here. Stevie, says, Man United fans getting their excuses in early. Can't wait for the silence on Sunday evening. I don't really know what the excuses are. So I said, building excuses. What excuses am I building? Please reiterate that for me. I'd love to address them with you now live on the air. I don't just read out positive comments. Monsieur here says, then we can talk about Maguire's handball in the box. Maguire's goal probably should have stood, but would have not. Sorry, but you would have got the chance had Shaw been sent off. Or Shaw's wasn't a red card. If Maguire's goal stood, even if the handball was given, we would have been 2-0 up anyway, so it would have been immaterial. So if all those decisions go how you've just said, Man United still win 2-1. It was never a sending off for Luke Shaw because of the level of contact. Terry, it's the first sign of Klopp throwing in the towel. So rattled is what Twisted Bubba thinks about this. While we've got 750 people watching, but only 77 liked people, smash it right now. Let's get this past the 200 mark, please. Terry, you're deluded, fam. Cool. I'm going to share the link now. You want to say I'm deluded? I'm very relaxed about that. Listen, you can't be damaging. I'm impervious to it. But the link's being shared now. I bet you, bro, you don't have the balls to call in and tell me why. Same as Stevie LFC and all you guys. You're making excuses. Winnerpool. None of you are going to call in. None of you are going to phone in. Just sitting there on your keyboards. Get yourselves on and have your say. Super chat here. Sorry, comment here from a member says we are winning. We are winning. Doubt Liverpool at your own peril. 21 is dead. 20 is coming. Listen, bro. I ain't doubt. There's one thing I'm going to say. You're going to hear this from me in every single stream. I'm at live here at 5. I'm on the Coppish at 8 o'clock. I'm on another channel tomorrow. I am not doubting Liverpool. They are an excellent team with a brilliant squad and the best manager in the world. To doubt them is absolute madness. And that is why I'm not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater if we don't win. Because Liverpool are a better team than Manchester United. We just happen to be above you in the league at this moment in time. The only way, in my opinion, you can have the logical sense to say Man United should be winning is if you believe Man United are the superior team with better players and a better coach to orchestrate them. Saying that we've got an average squad with a trash manager, but making us favourites to beat the best team in the land with the best manager in the world makes it just doesn't make sense. It's not even worth debating because it's nonsensical. It's like talking to a brick wall. 110%. We have another super chat. Then we're going to go into your live calls. Keep hitting that like button. Spot on, Terry. I don't get the unconditional hate for Ollie. Obviously, if we finish outside the top 4 and 1-0, he deserves criticism. But right now, you have to give him praise, no doubt. Do you know what, LA? For me, you can criticize. If we don't win Sunday or we lose Sunday and we play badly, I will criticize elements. But I'm criticizing those elements. You maybe have an overarching thought, but I'm not throwing the baby out with the bathwater because we'll still be joint top. We'll be joint top. And then we have 2 very simplistic games after that where I guarantee you we're going to get 6 from 6. We're still in and around the hunt. You know, this is what Ollie's detractors will do. They always want to they want to kind of minimize his managerial reign down to one thing. You know, sort of a single point in time. Win it. And the irony in it is this, bruv. If he wins it, they won't back him either. I would accept it if they said if he wins against Liverpool Sunday, I'll give him my full support rest of the season. I would say fair play, but they're not going to do that, bruv. So and they're entitled to that opinion. I don't have an issue with them personally, but I'm not. What's the point of debating someone who's not going to change their mind? A debate, it's just there is just no point. There is no point. Let's go to some of your calls here. Actually, we have another super chat to do first from Kevin, who says, big up, Terry. I love your channel. Keep up the great work you are doing, my friend. Thank you. I really appreciate that, Kevin. Thank you. First up on the show, we're going to have Jezza. We're going to get Jezza on the show. He's showing his face. It's always easier. Jezza, who do you support, mate? Can you hear me? Can't hear you, bro. I'm going to put you back in the background here. Maybe connect your mic up a little different. We're going to go to Romario next. Romario, welcome to the terrace. What do you want to say?
I just want to talk about that United game. I mean, I'm not a United fan personally. I'm actually a Tottenham fan, so I'm still kind of hurting from last night, unfortunately. But I think that United game is, like I said, I said, is this one of United's biggest games in the last 5 seasons? I think it is because ever since Fergie left, I don't know if you guys have been this close to, the top, and I'm not really convinced yet that you guys can win a league title, but you haven't been this close to, at least mounting. Yeah, I mean, you were close with Mourinho, you were top, and you kind of mounted a title challenge, but I feel like now it could be serious because there's a lot of teams dropping points, a lot of good teams that aren't playing the way they should be playing, like, City has dropped points, Liverpool, and a lot of these other teams. So I think this is a really big game for United. But the thing that I like about this game is that honestly, I can't really predict what's gonna happen. Really, I think it could go either way. I think it could be United could nick a win. Obviously, maybe a Bruno Fernandes penalty. You never know. I think Liverpool can just come back out of nowhere and kind of rediscover their form. Or it could even be just a boring draw. You never know. I think that I'm very excited about this game as a football fan. Honestly, I can't wait. I'm not kidding.
You hit the nail on the head there. Man United and Liverpool might both go into this game, and sometimes it depends on what your opponent's doing. We saw this when Chelsea and United played, and we saw it when Man United and City played. And I criticized it at the time. Hindsight's always lucrative because you have the ability to look back and go, actually, maybe it was sensible. You might find that both Liverpool and Man United decide, neither knows what the other one's tactics are going to be, but they could be 20, 30 minutes into the game and say, well, neither goes for it hell for leather to try and win. You actually saw City And this is the irony in it. If Man United don't go for the win, they play for the draw, but Liverpool also don't overcommit and play for a draw, it will get criticised by the Ollie outers. See, not elite level manager is not a winner, etc. But that's exactly what Man City and Liverpool did when they played each other only a month ago, and nobody would dare call Klopp or Pep sort of or criticize them and say they have a lack of want to win. I hope we try to beat them. And for me, I know we're going to play counter-attack football. It's how we counterattack. The numbers of players that we put forward when trying to counterattack, I think that gives you your message. And what I've seen in a lot of big top 6 clashes so far this season is everybody seems reluctant to go for it. Liverpool really pushed hard at Tottenham in the game at Anfield. When a goal up, seeded almost instantly. And then that game almost became a little bit dull for periods. Spurs had a few counters because it was almost both teams didn't want to drop the points. And I think you could end up seeing that again on Sunday. Bro, listen, I appreciate you coming on, having your say. Really appreciate it, mate. Thank you for your support. Next up on the show, make sure you're smashing that like button, people, if you've not done so already. Mansour Ahmed, big contributor of the Football Terrace. What you saying, brother?
Yeah, I tell you, yeah, like I said, it's going to be hard to be neutral in this game because it's just going to be pure biasness. From if you're a Liverpool fan, you're going to support Liverpool. If you're United, you're just going to support United. It's just going to be hard to put like a debate forward to be neutral. So yeah, I'm excited for the game. Listen, I understand why the United fans are confident because you're in a great run of form. Is it 10 games unbeaten? Is it or something like that?
Yes,
or something like that. So I can understand the confidence, but one thing that you got to be aware of is this is Liverpool on the back of a slightly poor form, coming at home, unbeaten at home, and this is a game to prove ourselves. So just for some United fans say, "Oh, it's going to be a walk in the park," or "We're just going to smash Klopp," it's absolutely ludicrous because you got to understand this is Liverpool on a poor form, and when they're in a poor form, they tend to play very good against a strong side, a top side in the top 6. So it's going to be an interesting game, and yeah, I can't wait for the game on Sunday.
You know what? I think for me, listen, Monzo, I really appreciate you coming and having your say. It makes a lot of sense there, my friend. Thank you. Listen, I'm not the people that are underestimating Liverpool. Like, I want to gas Man United and I want to have a go. It's about building things up. But on a real level, it's just stupid to write a team off that are this good. Some United fans are doing it because they're setting Ollie up for failure. It's as clear as a nose upon the end of my face. It's just obvious. And that they're entitled to do that if they want to. But again, it's transparent. We see you. It's not clever. It's, it'd be clever if you did it and no one noticed. But we can see you, bruv. Do you know what I mean? You're doing it in broad daylight. It's obvious. It's like looking at the Grand Canyon. It's just huge. It's there. There it is. Look at it. Well done. Clap, clap. LV17 says, Terry, if we lose to Liverpool, can we bounce back? Yes. Yes. It's, it isn't the final day of the season. It isn't a cup final. It just isn't. It's an internal gateway. I think beating Liverpool gives us a much better chance of winning the league, not just because of the numerical element and the points, but a confidence builder. So I want to win it. I'll be disappointed if we don't. But as I keep repeating, do not throw baby out with the bathwater based on one result that comes at the halfway stage of the season. We did that a few weeks ago when we drew with Leicester and then everybody else dropped points. We keep doing it and we keep getting bit on our own asses. Next up on the show, we're going to have the Devil's Advocate. Welcome back to the show, mate. What are you saying, bro?
How's it going, Terry? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Getting very excited about this game on the horizon now. We can just sort of see it there a couple of days away. Give me your thoughts on Jurgen Klopp, though. We want to go back to this. Do you think he's rattled or do you think he's being clever?
Well, I think it's the perfect blend of both, to be quite honest, because a key point rather is where was he moaning about this last season? I mean, loads of people were saying, "Oh, United get so many penalties last season," but he wasn't moaning then because we were much lower down in the table. It's clear to see he's a little bit rattled because we're up there and we're actually challenging him for the title this year. Depending on how long we can stay up there, that's a different question. But I don't know if you read that whole article that was on the Liverpool Echo, but I just want to read a quote out from Clattenburg here. He says, he's clearly getting edgy, though, because not since Fergie have we seen such a blatant attempt to influence a referee ahead of a big game. Klopp wasn't doing this last season when Liverpool were winning every week, and that is just clear as day to me. Don't know what your thoughts are about that.
Listen, I think there's an element. I think a few of the viewers have said this, and I think they're right. There's an element of him being frustrated and concerned, but I think he's being clever. I think he's looking at it and he's saying, you know what? I'm going to take attention away from my squad by bringing the focus on me. He's putting across the messages in a like I'm a rattled kind of way, but he's doing it to influence. He's doing it to give Liverpool an advantage in this game and in games going forward. And there's no doubt in my mind that it's already got into the minds of the referees. And
definitely, yeah.
Liverpool fans can say, well, you're just looking for excuses. But okay, and I'm like, that's fine. But everybody's looking for not so much excuses, but if Jurgen Klopp's doing it to plant a seed to influence referees, and we see that influence come to if he knows it isn't going to influence, if managers knew, if Fergie knew that him speaking out about refereeing decisions didn't influence them, he wouldn't do it. So Klopp is doing it to make Man United get less decisions in our favour. So it's not.
I think it was really. Oh, sorry, go on.
It's a cold hard fact. That's why he's doing it. So it's smart from Jurgen Klopp. Why would you not do it? And I think for me, you know, these things, you just got to handle these things right, though. And I don't know how good Klopp is at doing this, because I haven't seen Klopp try these mind games in a title race and see it work for him over the course. When every manager that went up against Fergie in the Premier League with these mind games, in the end, lost. And in fact, most lost badly in the end. I mean, they you know, Wenger and him, it was neck and neck for 4 or 5 years, and then Wenger fell away completely. You know, the first couple of years, I think Jose was in the league. Jose was just new, fresh. But by the end, Fergie outdid him in the Premier League. Like, he sent him packing to another country.
Yeah, it's a mentality thing, definitely. Because, you know, it's how you can bounce back.
So I'm not saying Jurgen Klopp can't do that, but this is where Fergie, for me, as a domestic manager in the UK, is the best ever, because he just saw everybody off. And I actually think if he was 15 years younger, he eventually would have saw off Pep Guardiola as well. The problem is Guardiola came in, and for that time period was sort of better when they played each other than Fergie. Fergie was just too old to tackle it. Does that make sense? Like, he was just past his best, horrible thing to say, he won the league in his last season. But if Fergie was still in his 50s or in his 60s, I think he'd have gone, right, I'm staying for another 10 years because I want to outdo this young man. In a friendly
what about the fire in his belly?
Yeah, we don't know if he would have done, because there's no precedent. Well, he saw everybody else off, so I'm confident he could have done it again. But Jurgen Klopp, for me, he's definitely being clever here. He's trying to influence. Do you think it will have an impact on Sunday? Do you have a feeling as a United fan that we're going to get a stone cold penalty go against us, or even not be given for us, or go against us? Do you think there's going to be a controversial decision based on what Jurgen Klopp's doing?
I wouldn't be surprised, Terry, to be quite honest, because as I said in the super chat earlier, it's clear to see since he's come out with these comments. And I just want to say as well, the way that he actually said the thing was, he was rambling on about something completely irrelevant to it. And he went, oh, by the way, United have had more penalties in 2.5 years than I've had in 5 years. And it was just completely irrelevant. So the tactic, the way he did it was just, it was like a name drop kind of thing, and a mic drop, like leave that there and then let's see what happens. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised, considering since he's had this little tantrum, you've seen, I'm sure you have, the amount of like blatant decisions that have gone against us in the past few games, Aston Villa being a key one. I mean, how that Maguire goal was disallowed is beyond me.
Yeah,
it's absolutely ridiculous, to be honest.
I understand that. I understand that. Do you know what was really funny? About 10 minutes after that goal was disallowed, one of their players put. You know, it wasn't one of their players. It was in the second half, when Paul Pogba was pushed to the ground in the box and we asked for a penalty. Gary Neville rightfully said no penalty, and I said no penalty. If you watch what the Burnley player does, he just pushed him slightly.
Yeah, I saw it, yeah.
There was no more fault in that. And the irony in it is this: what Maguire did in that challenge was to stop himself from smashing through the back of the defender. Now, for me, what's interesting is given as a foul because he put his arm up to stop there being a collision of heads, maybe. So that's a foul given. When David Luiz went up for a header the other week and didn't see Jimenez and they clash heads and it takes him and ends Jimenez's season, that's not even a foul or a yellow card. So based on that logic, if Maguire would have just got his head to that ball and then fractured the skull of the defender in front of him, the goal would have stood. Like, think about that logically. He didn't. If he'd have used himself to elevate off the player, then yes, give a foul. He didn't. But as you say, these decisions are already starting to go Liverpool's way. Listen, Devil's Advocate, thanks for coming on, mate. We'll speak to you very, very soon. Thank you. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off as you were saying bye there. Promo says, Terry, do you think Ollie will play 5 at the back? Do you know, it's a really good question. That depends upon your disposition. 3 at the back with wing backs it's 5 at the back when you defend, and it's 3 at the back when you go forward. So potentially, yes, he may decide to do that. He may. It's Mr. Itstro is here. How you doing, bro?
What's up, man? You good?
I'm good. Listen, I called you out in the WhatsApp group the other day. You've seemed a little bit edgy, a bit rattled, a bit angry the last few days. I mean, is that just gearing up for this massive game?
Nah, it's the hypocrisy which makes me laugh. So,
What?
like I put, no, I'm talking about. So, for example, for the past 2 odd years, I've had United fans. You know what it's like, based in Manchester. United fans on WhatsApp, in groups, on Twitter, online, calling out Liverpool for certain things, like, for example, the Van Dijk challenge and the Shaw challenge. And yet, when it's a United player, it's not the same manager. That's all I've been calling out. I've said to you from day one, I think United would be up there challenging this season. You're top of the table, and rightfully so, because you've been on the best run of form for the past 10 odd games. So at no point is this me rattled. Like, how could I be rattled? I've spent 60% of my life growing up in Manchester, where United were dominating. I've seen this before. This is nothing new to me. I just like calling out people when they're not keeping the same energy. That's all.
No, listen, I get that, and I'm just going to banter you back, mate. Like we know you're probably the most level-headed Liverpool fan that we have on the show on a regular basis. In terms of this Jurgen Klopp thing, do you think it's him being rattled, or do you think it's, in my view, it's him being clever? We're already starting to see some of the decisions go against Manchester United that appears to be quite obvious. Do you think he's trying to influence the referees for this big game Sunday?
Yeah, because I think he's annoyed, not with United, with our squad. The state that it's in at the minute, the fact that we're not playing to the heights that we should be, that we're not performing at the level we were. So I think that's irritated him. I think he knows there's glaring errors in us. And if you look at us come Sunday, for example, we don't know if Matip's available. Now, a young, inexperienced defender, and you've got the likes of Rashford, Martial, Bruno, Pogba potentially running at you, they could stick a leg out, and it makes perfect sense for him to make this kind of a comment. And listen, like I said, I grew up with Fergie dominating. I've seen Fergie do this on a regular basis. This is just him trying to gain a little edge, potentially influence a referee, which, like I said, I've seen Fergie do it for years. To me, it's clever. He is irritated. Nothing to do with Manchester United. He's irritated at Liverpool and the way and how we are lately.
Yeah,
that's what's irritating him.
And I kind of,
like I said, given the fact that we might have to play one of the kids on Sunday.
Mate, do you know what?
Given the fact we might have to play one of the kids on Sunday, and there could be a chance where he's 1-on-1, that's a problem.
Mate, I understand that, and what Klopp's doing again, I'm always going to banter it and have a laugh, but on a real level, it's smart. And Fergie is the master. You take the attention away from your squad. All the conversation is about Klopp, the players. And I think what he'll do is he'll let his players know directly. I think Fergie used to do this. Listen, I'm going to blast you lot for a bad performance, but I'm going to go out there into the press conference and I'm going to make it about me. I'm going to do something that's going to take the attention away from you. Some managers don't manage that right. They do things in their squad like, oh, I'm embarrassed my manager's done that. So you've got to be the right character to do it. And I think that Jurgen Klopp is very much that. What I will say to people is this, though. We're going to do this more in the preview at 5 o'clock today, right here on the Football Terrace. But listen, it doesn't matter how bad Liverpool's form has been or how good Man United's form has been. This game, it's nearly always been a leveler. I know you beat us 2-0 last year and you've been better than us for a number of years. If you look over this last 8 years, generally speaking, Liverpool have been better than Man United. But the games always still generally have been. There's been a couple of times where we've beaten well. There's been a couple of times where you've beaten us well. But generally speaking, they're always tight. They're always narrow. So I keep hearing United fans talk about 3-1s, 3-0s. It didn't happen with the best Fergie teams against the worst Liverpool teams of 3 decades. So I have no kind of. I want to do that, but I don't think that's what's gonna happen. What's your head saying, Stro, ahead of this game Sunday? How do you think it's going to go?
Like I said, my concern is centre back, because we've seen that when we take Henderson out of the midfield, it doesn't function the way it normally should do, and we lack something. And don't get me wrong, having Thiago back's great, but he needs someone next to him. He needs a Henderson to do the legwork when Trent goes forward, because you've seen that Trent wasn't the same player when he didn't have Henderson inside of him. So who do we play at centre back? Do you play Phillips or Reece Williams, who I think are unbelievable prospects and talents? But this is a huge game. If United win this, not only does it break the streak, God knows what that could do for us mentally, but what can that do for United? That proves everything to them, that mentally that they think, well, we've gone away to the defending champions, we've beat them when no one's done for the past 3 odd years. That could kick them on. So people underestimate how big of a lineup Klopp's got to pick for Sunday. I still think, because it's at Anfield, we'll come out 2-1 winners, but it's going to be tight.
Yeah, listen, I think that's a lot. Everything you said there makes a lot of sense. I think for me as a United fan, of course, I always want to win this game, even if we were sitting 10th in the league. But it's, for me, I look at the 2 games after against Fulham and Sheffield United. Beating you, we then have this. If we beat you, we then have this amazing opportunity to sort of cement it and cast iron it with another 6 points against 2 of the worst 3 teams in the league this season, and you suddenly go from being on 36 to 39 points by beating you, and you can push that to 44 points. The interesting thing is, it took Man United last season until nigh on 30 games to get that many points. So psychologically, you go into that dressing room and over the next 3 games, and what Ollie needs to be able to, actually, in fairness, the amount of points we've got now, it took us 25 games to get to last year. And that's what I want Ollie pushing into these United players. Just beat Liverpool at Anfield, top of the league and clear by X amount of points of the defending champions. Equally, this time last year, game for game, we've had nearly a 50% rise in performances. Feeding that in, you can make this team believe who knows what's achievable. We've seen worse squads than this Man United squad now win Premier League titles. And for me, I'm not getting into any debates about this being the greatest Premier League team of all time. That isn't what this season is about. For me, it's about someone coming out as champions, and games like this weekend are huge in that. Stro, legend, thanks for coming on the show, mate, and having your say. Chat to you soon, bro. Top man. Take care. And Sans here, the super chat, says Terry, Klopp is rattled. He knows he needs to refresh the squad, but he can't. It kind of echoes a lot of what Stro just said there. Sans again says Klopp is yet to build a new squad. Ollie is building one. Ollie will win. 21 is coming. I can feel it. I can feel it. Strip Bear here says, love football, the banter, the channel. Become a member. Join us now for as little as 99p. Thank you, Strip Bear. Really do appreciate that. Listen, everyone who's tuned in, a massive thank you to each and every single one of you. It means a great, great deal to us here at the Football Terrace. It does. We are back. Listen, there's 1,000 of you watching now. Do me a big favor. I'm going to be setting the stream up in the next 45 minutes. 5 p.m. be here. Drifty, Callum, James Redman, Neeks, KJ, Alfie, myself hosting. The big preview will be here. 5 p.m. Don't go anywhere else. You're not going to get the same level of balance, banter, laughs. We're going to be tiering and ranking and picking a combined 11 that we're going to want you to get involved with. We're also going to open up the lines for some of you to come on and have your say as well throughout the show. So 5 p.m., make sure you're all back here. Bring a friend as well. Get 1, get 2, get 3 of your mates to join in, watch it together, banter each other and laugh. Sign up to the Discord server. The link for that is in our description below. But until next time, everybody, take care of yourselves. Goodbye.